Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Class, okay, today we will learn about chapter 7 animation. So this is class one of the multimedia elements. Okay, so we have learned before this about text, okay, and then graphic, okay, then we have audio, video, and this is the fifth element in multimedia, which is the animation. So what we will learn today is class is about introduction to animation. So basically you need to know the definition of animation. Okay, then we have the computer generated animation. Okay, what is the computer generated? Okay, what we have before this, the traditional animation. Okay, then we have the file format used in animation and how to make successful animation. So what is the animation? Okay, what do you know about animation? And then how you compare between animation and also the video. So animation class is actually defined as the act of making something come alive. So same goes to video. So what is the difference? So the difference is that animation is something that you draw, you create, something that you imagine. But video is actually you record something that is alive or the real situation. So in animation, it is concerned with the visual or aesthetic aspect of the project. Animation is also an object moving across or into out of the screen. In animation, we have a series of images are rapidly changed to create an illusion of movements. So if you still remember that we have one of the advertisement where we have a advertisement of the milk product. Okay, so one of the children draw about the butterfly. So he has so many different drawing on the butterfly. At the end, when he flip through the papers or the drawing block, so it makes the butterfly comes alive or fly, something that is real. So that is actually the basic foundation of the animation. So the principles of animation that we have is actually two. So first is the persistence of vision, which is the biological, more on your eye, more on your physical biology of the human. While we have the pi, which is the psychological emotion, how do you create emotion, how the human laugh, okay, smile, move, okay, that is the psychological. Okay, class, look at the examples of persistence of vision in the slide. Okay, so you can see this is what the user can see using their eyes. Okay, then we have the pi. So pi is actually based on the psychological or human emotion or interpretation based on what they can see in the through their eyes. Okay, next we look at the principles of animation. So at the left side is actually the okay, at the left side is actually the frames, okay, where we have the frames, okay, one each of the frame has different movement, okay, so that is concept of frames. Okay, when you combine the frames, then you composite it, so it will become the flickering. So I want you to find out, okay, what is flickering. Okay, find from the internet what is flickering, okay, for further understanding. Okay, next we look at the computer generated animation space. So as you know, I believe that you know, okay, you always heard about 2D, 3D. Okay, so basically that is a space that we have in the animation. So what is 2D space? So basically it's very simple and static. So you can have x and y axis. Okay, while 2.5D space is actually an illusion of depth is created through shadowing, highlighting, and force and perspective. Though in reality the image rests in 2D. So 2.5D, okay, we have actually axis x and y, but you add on the shadowing, highlighting, so that it almost looks like the 3D space. Okay, so you have the lighting, and or for example you give some emboss to your picture, so it will look like a 3D animation. But it is not a 3D yet. Okay, once you have an x and y axis, okay, then you have very complicated and realistic animation, then you can call that as a 3D animation. Okay, we look at the examples of 3D here. Okay, in my slide, okay, I give you example of the picture. Okay, so if you can see in the picture here, class. Okay, so you can see actually shadow, okay, lighting. So actually this is a 2.5D. Okay, and then okay, this one is the 2D examples where we use the typography concept, where we use the animation using the text. Okay, and then this is the illustration of the car. Okay, so 2D computer graphics are mainly used in applications that were originally developed upon traditional printing and drawing technologies such as typography, cartography, technical drawing, and advertising. So this is example of the picture that we have. Okay, this one you can see the effect 2.5D. So we have the emboss. Okay, so it gives some shadow so that it will become a real more real. This is also 2.5D where we have the shadow and lighting. Okay, and then this is also we have the shadow and lighting. So this is a table of 3D. So actually there are so many examples of 3D. For example, you have movies, Bobo Boy, 3D movies. Okay, nowadays in Malaysia we also have cartoon. So normally when we talk about animation, so you need to at least class have some idea what are the movies, cartoon movies that related. Okay, for example from the Walt Disney Company. Okay, so please find examples because we have question on what are the examples of 3D cartoons. Okay, this is a past animation. Okay, what is past animation? So if you can see class, okay, this is the drawing that we have. Okay, the lines. Okay, the dotted line is actually the path. Okay, path is actually is a guideline for the animation to move. Okay, so that's we call path. So we will try to do path animation when we do the lab session. So this is the example where you can see the bouncing. Okay, so the bouncing ball is actually use the path animation or the dotted line that we have drawn before the slide before. Okay, now we move to the animation techniques. So basically, when we talk animation technique class, we have the cell animation and also the computer animation. Okay, so when we have about cell animation and computer animation, we will look what are the differences between cell animation and also the computer animation. Okay, so we'll look at the animation process first. So basically we have 4 basic process to do or to create the animation successfully. So we have the brainstorm ideas, so discuss on the idea of the production. So what you want to do for your animation. Okay, you at least have some rough idea in your head. Okay, and then how you execute the idea. So before you develop your animation, so you need to have the script and also the storyboard. Okay, so this one is very important class for you to make sure that your animation is very real. So you need to organize your execution as, in a logical steps. Okay, so when you talk about logical steps, you need to know what are the steps that you need to have. For example, if you want to have animation on the football match, so you need to know what are the how the match is real. And then you need to imagine and draw in similar to the real football match. Okay, after that you need to select the tools. Okay, example of tools that we have is animation, flash. Okay, for animation is flash. Okay, and then director. So then you build and tweak and the sequences. Okay, based on what you have drawn in your storyboard. Then you post process and completed the animation. Okay, so now we look at the cell animation. So a cell animation class is actually the basic technique of animation that we have. Okay, it is actually a series of progressively different graphics are used on each frame of a movie film. So when we talk about a series of progressively graphic means that you need to have a sequence of graphic that related. Okay, for example, if you want to kick a ball, so you make sure that you have the first step before you kick the ball. how is your leg. Okay, you need to at least imagine, okay, progressively, so that your animation will look very real. Okay, so if you look at this diagram or picture, okay, so this is the example of the character set that we have. So we have the background, okay, we have the background, okay, we have the cell, character cell. So how you combine it, okay, what you want to do, okay, for example, the first character will come, the second character will come, okay, you will record using the camera. So this is actually the traditional way that we have last time. So you can see that we have the mapping of the celluloid. So we call this as a cell animation because it is actually hand-drawn animation, uses a number of celluloid sheets. Okay, celluloid sheets here is something like your projector, something that you have transparency. Okay, and then you draw in your transparency, then you project using the projector. Okay, at the end, okay, you have the final product, which is a composite, a combination. So the term celluloid class or cell is derived from the clear celluloid sheets, okay, were used for drawing each frame. So you can imagine how is the how this cartoon is created before we have the computer. So it is you need to draw one by one. Okay, so you can find YouTube for the cell animation. Okay, search YouTube to get some idea what are the YouTube, what are the how they developed cell animation last time. Okay, and then how is the first animation created. Okay, and then actually it's quite taxing, quite detailed works. Okay, so it is not very easy to create animation, okay, before we have the computer. Okay, next we look at this concept of keyframes. So in animation class, okay, we have the concept of keyframes. So cell animation begins with keyframe. So keyframe refers to the first and the last frame. Okay, first, okay, and the last frame. So the frame between we call the twinning process. Okay, so I'll show you example. Okay, for example, okay, we have, okay, this is the first, okay, and then this is the last. Okay, so in the between here, okay, we call the twinning process. Okay, the twinning depict the action that takes place between the keyframes. So what happened in the between, so automatically can be generated by the computer. So twinning is followed by the pencil test. So pencil test is actually you test the animation, what the animation, the sequence of the animation, is it correct, the sequence or logic or not. So this is the complete cell animation process. So you have the keyframes, okay, you have the twinning process. After that, you test your animation. Then later you give the colors and ink to the animation. So this is example of keyframe and twinning. So this is the first keyframe. Okay, this is the last keyframe. So in the between we call this a twinning. Okay, this is the first keyframe, this is the last. Okay, then for the twinning, okay, this is the first, this is last, and this is twinning. Okay, first and last, this is the twinning. So in one complete set of animation, you can have various or different twinning process. So this is a pencil test. Okay, so this is actually how you draw all your characters. Okay, how they are moving. Okay, so there is no coloring yet. Okay, just a pencil or drawing using the pen, but you call this as pencil test. Okay, after that you give the colors. Okay, you can refer to your textbook to get details on how they develop. Alright, so now we'll go to the computer animation. Okay, so computer animation basically is very similar class to the cell animation, but using the same concept. Okay, but they are using computer to auto generate or automatically generate some of the movement. Okay, so you do not need to draw each of the frame manually, but and then in using computer animation you can reduce, okay, time to develop your own animation. Okay, in computer animation class you need to know some of the terms, okay, or study related to the human body. For example, kinematics. So kinematics is actually the study of the movement and motion of the structure that have joint. So basically human, okay, for example hand, okay, we have joint in your hand, so you need to know how your fingers moving. Okay, then we have the inverse kinematic. So it's the process of linking object and define their relationships and also the limitation. So you need to know the limitation of certain things. For example, how you throw a ball. Okay, so if it is not if you do not know the limit, so it will not be logic on your animation. And another terms that you need to know is actually morphing. So it is actually effect transformation from one to another. So you can refer to your textbook to see the examples of morphing. For example, how your face, okay, transform from younger to the older faces, okay, or the other way around. Okay, so this is the file format used in animation. Okay, so we have DIR and DCR, director files. Okay, then we have LIA, FLI, FLC for Animator Pro. Okay, then we have .mx for 3D. So in animation we have 3D, right? So we have other than 3D Max. Okay, so you can search from the Google to find other example for 3D file format. Okay, then we have PICS for Supercut and director files, and we have FLA and Elizabeth for the flash file. So the famous file format for animation is actually GIF. So it is actually version of GIF 89A file format, version of the GIF file image format, allow multiple images to be put into a single file and then displayed as an animation in web browser. So applications like BoxStop softwares, GIFmation or Unit GIF Animator are needed to create GIF 89 animation. So how to make a successful animation class? So you need to use animation carefully and sparingly. So use wisely, not every things you can do the animation. Okay, and then you need to very high quality animation. So if you need to if you want to produce a high quality animation, so you need to have very good display platform and also hardware. Okay, then you need to have the file compression. Okay, because if you want to embed, okay, or you want to upload your animation in the web, so you need to look at the size of your animation. So if the size is too big, it's not good for the web to reload your animation very fast. So that's why we have a very special compression or very special file format for the website. Okay, so this is some of the tools that we have. So the famous one that we will learn in our class is Flash or Adobe Animate. Okay, the name, the rebranding of name for the Macromedia. So before this we have Macromedia Flash, but now Flash or in Adobe company, in Adobe version or Adobe package, which is the Adobe Animate or Adobe Flash. Okay, so other than that we have Kai Power Tools. Okay, we have Alias Waterfront, Wavefront, Maya. So this is for the 3D. Okay, this is for the 3D library. Okay, so we have comes to the end of the lecture. So basically, okay, animation is chapter is quite simple, simple. Okay, and then what you need to do to know class is actually the basic about animation, the definition of animation, what is animation, how animation differ or different to video, okay, and then what is the cell animation, okay, and then what is the computer animation. So you need to know some of the terms, for example the twinning process, okay, the keyframes, okay, the cell itself. So and then you need to know some of the file formats, okay. So at least you know 3 to 5 file formats that we have in the animation. Alright. Okay, so you can refer to your textbook. Okay, I give you the chapter animation for you to read further. Okay, so that you can answer the question for the www without wall session. Okay, so I think that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. So good luck class. Okay, please do your assignment. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.